Welcome, fresh friends. We are here live at Viva Fresh Expo 2026 in beautiful San Antonio, Texas, at the JW Marriott Hill Country Resort. If you did not make it this year, by all means, put it on your calendar for next year. It's a can't miss event, must make, I guess. Joined again by my co-host, Mr. Craig Slate.
Hello, how you doing, Ed?
Good, buddy. How are you?
You looking great.
Oh,
You look fresh. You must have got a good night's sleep
I
last
wish I
night.
could say the same about that jacket, boy.
This is a fresh freaking jacket, my friend.
I didn't bring
I
sunglasses,
mean,
but
you look like you ought to be, I don't know, like in a boys' choir. You got you got your boys' choir jacket.
hey, you
on.
know what? I was in the boys' choir.
Well, I don't doubt that.
I was an alto.
Yeah.
Also joining us over to my left is Mr. PJ Cawley from Charlie's Produce. PJ,
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for having me.
well, thanks for being here. You've been let's call it honorary Texan for the week. You've been here now a couple days, right?
Since Wednesday evening, so yeah, three,
But
4
been
days.
to San Antonio before.
First time in San Antonio. I've been to Houston, Dallas, other parts of Texas. Going back to what you said, Ed, one of the best events of the year every year. I've been coming here for maybe 6 years to Viva Fresh. I look forward to it every year. The TIPA treats us great. Always make a bunch of meaningful connections, and these are two of my favorites sitting up here to my right.
Oh my gosh,
I love it.
Did you pay him to say
I
that?
did, man. Hell no, I don't have to pay them. You know, he just loves the jacket.
Yeah, well, it sets the tone for sure.
Yeah.
So y'all have known each other for quite some time, right?
Yeah, a handful of years. I don't know, 10 years, something like that.
Probably about
probably.
10 years,
Yeah.
I'd say.
That's a lot in dog years.
It is. It's a lot in my years.
A lot in your years.
If you
too.
think about the percentage and probably what I got left, it's a lot.
Have you ever sold to PJ?
Have I ever been the salesperson?
Correct.
No. Has the company that I worked with?
Well, I guess that's what I meant.
Yes. We've sold a few things to PJ.
Okay.
And conversely, I've generally not been the buyer for the commodity group
Okay.
via Craig's company, with the exception of some organic melons years ago. A long time ago, I think Craig probably 9 years ago when we were doing the organic melons
Yeah.
together. But great partnership. We love it. Don't see that changing anytime soon.
You did mention who he's with, right?
No.
It did.
Did you?
Yeah.
I mean, but you didn't call out. I mean, say it again. It's a fairly sizable
Charlie's
organization.
Produce, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you guys got over there, PJ? 9 divisions, 10
We're-
states. What's the...
We're
What's-
an independent produce distributor in the Western U.S., based out of Seattle. Been around going on 50 years now. Started in '78, so 48 years at this point. We've been in business. We've expanded, grown over the years. Got a much broader reach now, as north as Alaska, all the way down to LA and Phoenix. And to your point, yeah, maybe 9 distribution centers that we're moving products through. We have a national sales presence for some of our brands, our grower direct programs. We're doing a lot of things. We're having a lot of fun, but at our core, we are a independent, privately owned, scrappy wholesaler. We're an ESOP company. Everyone has a stake in it, myself included. So we're all invested in being as successful as we can, and that means getting our customers what they want and making our customers successful. So it's been a wild ride, and I'm looking forward to what it's going to be like in the future. And long-term goals, I want to break into the career field you're getting into.
Right,
Craig,
but where you do nothing career?
yeah, probably 10, 15 years for me. I got a little ways to wait on that, but I've heard it's a very rewarding occupation.
Yeah. I'm still waiting to see what that looks like, but yeah, looking forward to it as well.
Well, ask me and I will tell you I am in no hurry. I'm very happy here, sitting here doing what I'm doing, because I know what comes after retirement.
What comes after retirement?
The end.
I thought
Is
it
it-
was
is that what's next for me? In other words, I'm on my final chapter.
Hey, buddy. I mean,
I'm on the
what
final
is next?
I mean,
It's the end.
retirement, and then, yeah, I guess that's true.
I thought
Yeah.
it was consulting came after.
I kind of thought that too. That was
The
really
end
what
is
I
near.
yeah. So, all right, well, let's get into something.
I don't want
that's-
to bum you out. Never-
that's you're not bumming me out.
Okay.
No bad days. No bad days, baby. All right. So established that you guys have a fairly large presence on the West Coast, and honestly, I'm amazed at what Charlie has been. I mean, to know it's a one guy it's named after Charlie's. Obviously, he's done it with a huge staff, but I mean, this guy started in Seattle, built this big operation. So it's a pretty amazing story, pretty amazing what they've been able to do as a group, as a team. You guys, being ESOP, I think is awesome because you're vested, and it proves, having people vested, what kind of success you can have. So hats off to the whole group of people at Charlie's, because it's a pretty amazing story and how that's gone. But I want to get into the meat of why we're here. Look, we've got a few things going on the global space, right? So we've got the war. It's had a little bit of effect on fuel prices, would you say? So I want to ask a little bit around transportation and what you've seen in that and how you guys have had to do and change. What are you guys doing different to mitigate that?
Well, I mean, you're spot on, Craig. And Ed and I talked about it last month. Fuel prices are up, freight's more expensive. We have to be deliberate and thoughtful about when we're loading, where we're loading, making sure our trucks are full. But freight is a real part of the cost of the goods that everyone sees at the retail level, the food service level. We're all paying for it. The hopes are it changes, and I think it probably will. But it's
Have you changed anything? Are you doing anything different? Building loads different? Only build. In other words, has anything in the business supply chain changed for you guys to mitigate the fuel cost?
Well, people are never going to stop eating, and that's what I love about this business. So yes, we've been a little more strategic about how we put the trucks together. We're loading a lot of trucks on a daily basis, in multiple different FOB points. So our strategy has always been to fill those trucks and make sure that we're not losing money on the freight end. But bottom line, we have to get product to our customers. So we're a produce company. Freight is a component and a service of our business. We need to get that last mile to our customers. So we're not going to let a truck that's not full stop us from getting the grapes we need,
Gotcha.
getting the cilantro we need, whatever it might be to our end customer. But it is a reality, and but part of my role is some of our global procurement that we do outside of the country, offshore, Mexico. We'll explore ocean channels if that makes more sense, and that saves a leg or two of inbound freight inland. Sometimes it seems to make sense. Other times it doesn't. And,
but I'm sorry, but clearly there's limited elasticity to price as far as how far you can take it, right? Factoring in the inputs, the main one being transportation or the fuel costs driving the increase in transportation. What I was thinking was perhaps, are there premium commodities that maybe you're taking off of the table, for example, or not perhaps supplying and focusing on other commodities that are more, the staple items, or do your customer base can you even do that?
I would say it's almost the opposite, Ed, and this is my perspective. Doesn't mean it's right, but those high ticket specialty items, they're expensive to begin with. If the freight per case difference is $1 a case than it was 2 months ago,
No.
a $50 case, that's not going to make as much difference as it's going to make on some of the core staple commodities that we're seeing now. The tomato market's really high.
What can you buy tomatoes for right now?
They're really high
If you can buy
right
them
now, but let's say we're in a different tomato market, that $12, $15 case of tomatoes, that dollar makes a much bigger difference on that commodity. And you've seen it with the scarcity of some of the warm veg in the last couple months or so, quality and scarcity issues, those inflated markets, people are kind of getting away from it. And I think, or pushing back a little bit on pricing. And I think the bigger volume commodities that tend to move at lower FOB prices, I think those are the ones that, it's going to be more challenging on the freight end to make sure you're in line, you're competitive. And
well, what concerns me is, so what happens, particularly the tomato market. I mean, we've had just about every commodity and the veg side has been through the roof. Bell peppers, tomatoes, everything. But we're creating demand destruction, right? So, in this effort to get people to eat more produce, unfortunately, these higher prices are going to translate to higher prices at retail, and people are going to begin to make choices. And you probably got customers right now that are not buying as much as they would have because the pricing is so high, and they don't want to get caught at that. So once they change out, move away, go somewhere else, it's hard to get them back, right? And it's hard to get them to adjust if you take out something that's in their pattern. So demand destruction, if these prices continue to hold, and I was talking to somebody about tomatoes, and their expectation is at least another month of tomato prices, which again, that's long enough that it's going to have effect. And then the fuel price is driving everything up. It's not good. It's not good for, long term for the industry and for the business, because I know our last guest said pricing's sometimes not relevant, but high prices, people will make different decisions. They've only got so many dollars, and they have to split those dollars up the best they can. So anyway.
I think it's a valid concern, Craig. Are they going to come back? Those people that eliminate tomatoes from their menu, from their home grocery list. Will you get them back in a year or a month, 2 months?
Or they move to canned, and they become a canned tomato customer. Either way,
or even just accounting for lag. I suspect that there's not the hard feelings that maybe that people would have the hard feelings on an item that they might be priced out of momentarily, but how long will it take after it stabilizes to get that, or what's the acquisition cost to get them back?
It'll take a while. It's not going to happen overnight. I think people will come back pretty quickly. People love eating fresh produce. They're going to come back for it. We've seen similar changes in behavior in the last 5-10 years or so, COVID being a great example. My area at one point had a thriving nightlife, lots of late night restaurants that were open 24 hours or well into the evening hours. During COVID, they all pulled back, went out of business, changed their hours, not open as late, never went back.
Yeah.
And they're never gonna.
That happened all over, everywhere.
Exactly. So, a huge shift in habits right there that they never got them back.
Yeah.
Really. I don't think we'll see the same with some of the elevated commodities today, but people are right to be concerned and coming up with strategies on how to get all those guys back that have changed their habits.
Yeah. As an industry, we really need to think, at some point, we're going to have to start reworking and getting those people back. So I think that's an important thought. So
PJ, give us a little insight, maybe behind the curtain on. Obviously, you praised the expo and what it has to offer, but when you come to the show, clearly you have some objectives. I'm assuming they change. There's probably the same basic ones every time, and then some outliers depending on what the conditions are, right? So, what were you hoping to achieve this week?
My goal is to come back from a show like this with a new commodity, a new opportunity, a new vendor partner that we move forward with, or a new customer, an outlet for some of our captive programs. Any one of those things happen, and it's a valuable experience for myself and the team that we send to events like this. So this one's been a great one over the years. You're 100% right. See a lot of the old friends here that are here every year. But there's somebody new every year. Somebody's doing something innovative every year, whether it's packaging, presentation that they're bundling things up for retail or food service customers, new varietals. That part's fun and exciting for me to see the innovation and hopefully capitalize on it and bring it back for our customer base.
So another curious question, and I'm assuming you can speak to this, and if not, I understand. But of the different states that you're in, what would you say? What's the one that you're showing the most growth against itself?
Well, I know Spokane has shown a lot of growth in Eastern Washington. Alaska has shown some great growth. Phoenix is on a great track for us. Salt Lake City. All of them all of them are growing in a really nice way, and the rate of growth is a little different across the board. The markets we're more mature in, that growth is slower because we've already experienced a lot of it
Right.
over the years. But the newer ones for us, we're still learning the marketplace. We're still figuring out the best way to service the existing customer base we have, and the new ones that we're not aware of or we're eager to get in the door with. So yeah, the newer distribution centers are probably where we're going to see the most growth
On a percentage basis. And I guess I'm really trying to get at from a population standpoint. I know California, it's been talked about how much people moved, particularly from the pandemic over the last several years. And I was just trying to get a perspective on that piece of it. Is the population growth, Arizona, I'm sure, is one reason you're doing well there, because the population growth has been phenomenal. But yeah, just trying to get some perspective if you've seen any changes in the business because of the population shift.
Yeah. Salt Lake City, Boise, Spokane,
Okay.
all fit that description.
Gotcha.
Areas where, people left California or Seattle or other major metro areas to smaller metro
Gotcha.
areas.
Okay.
So yeah, I think there's so much potential in those areas, because of the population growth and because of the generation turnover in those areas too.
Right.
They, it's a whole new generation that's out there with different eating habits, different preferences, different ethnicities, different cultural backgrounds on cuisine that they bring with them. So it's really fun to see some of the things outside of russet potatoes and yellow onions and apples moving, some of the more exotic items going to areas they traditionally would not have.
Organics a big part of your product line?
It's a big part of our product line. Some of our divisions, maybe it's as high as 75% of our business,
Get the
as
hell
low
out.
as 25% in other divisions.
Wow.
Across the board, I'd maybe put, 30%, 35% of our business. It's near and dear to my heart. I was an organic retailer for over 10 years before working for Cawley's. That's the programs I've developed, and my start with Cawley's were in organics. So it's always an area that I'm looking to grow and promote. I'm a believer in organics. I want to see us doing more and more of it. And some commodities, it will just never work as well as we want it to, but there's really a very feasible way to do it for a good portion of the product lineup. And freight and elevated costs don't help that either.
Yeah.
That we're talking about. I think that's been a little painful for organics the last month or so, because they're already at a little bit of a premium price point most of the time. And that puts them at a little bit of a disadvantage with the other increases. Some commodities it doesn't affect really that much. Organic apples, extremely easy to grow in Eastern Washington. We have the right climate for it. Organic stone fruit as well. More than half of the stone fruit grown in Washington State is certified organic, which is,
I did not know that.
you'll never see that with another commodity anywhere almost. Maybe some kales and chards and things like that in some regions. The majority of it's organic, but I mean, that's just an amazing fact for Eastern Washington agriculture. And it's because of the climate. It's arid. It gets cold enough in the winter where they don't have some of the pest pressure, disease pressure that they have to combat with non-organic treatments. Something I find fascinating.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Really
And half the stone fruit there, and the thing too is, that's a long-term crop cycle, right? Unlike you mentioned the leaf items, you can get organic relatively quickly with a short-term crop cycle, but tree fruit takes a little while before you actually get the product. So that's pretty amazing in the stone fruit deal. All right, so Yumi melons, I know you've had super great success with that. It's a fabulous item. What do you got? You got anything that you guys are working right now that's going to be the next Yumi
That you could divulge?
Well, I'm so glad you mentioned that, Craig. Yes, if the listeners aren't aware of the Yumi watermelon, it's something we're very proud of. It's a black rind, seedless, organic watermelon. got some amazing marketing and graphics behind it. But the most amazing part about it is the way it eats and the quality of it. I mean, it is just, the best seedless watermelon you're going to get in season. We start in mid-May in the desert, and we move up to Washington State all the way through California, finish around Labor Day or so. So we're shipping from Memorial Day to Labor Day, I would say. Our biggest national sales home run we've ever hit. We've kind of piggybacked on that with a Yumi berry lineup. We've got a robust Yumi strawberry and blueberry program, as well as cherries in season. Cherries, I think, are second on my list of my favorites of the Yumi program. The graphics, the marketing motif just fit perfectly with a dark red cherry, a Rainier cherry. Timing is the same as the watermelon. They tie together really well on a retail level to promote for the 4th of July or whenever you want to. It's we've been working on it for a couple of years, and this year is the year where we really try to push that cherry out into the marketplace along with the watermelon.
And those are organic as well?
The cherries are conventional.
They are conventional.
Yep. Watermelon are organic.
Yeah.
We do have some small acreage of conventional Yumi watermelon that we pack as conventional for specific customers that just don't want organic. At some point, we might get away from that and just, make it all organic. We want to try to keep things as clean as possible on there.
Yeah. Understood.
Well, I can't wait till May because that sounds like my type of watermelon.
Oh, it's
It's
really
a round.
good.
It's a round, right? It's not an oblong.
It's a round watermelon.
Yeah.
We will get one to you, Ed.
Oh, they're going to be coming to Central Market soon.
Really? Well, I can't wait.
I can't comment on that.
No.
I can. I don't work there, so it's okay.
Well, our time of fun is soon to be wrapping up. We've already gotten the high sign, but before we let you go, PJ, anything else promotable or something you'd like to promote, either for yourself, for Charlie's? What do you have looking forward to personally? Let's go with that.
Well, outside of Yumi, we also have a robust organic label that we started in the Northwest 40 plus years ago. Farmer's Own is the brand name, and it's primarily organic row crops in the Northwest, potatoes and onions as well, that we distribute nationally outside of our regional footprint. Blueberries are an area we've grown with the organic Farmer's Own label quite a bit over the years. We start with domestic production on the organic Farmer's Own blueberry in January, which is unbelievably early for an organic blueberry. And then we go all the way through October up to Washington State, starting the California coast all the way up to Washington State. It's a 10-month season for domestic organic blueberries, and it's something we're very proud of. It is a mature label that's been somewhat specific to the Northwest, and we'd love to see that out in other regions as well. And I think this is going to be a big year on those too.
Well, we're looking forward to taste testing. Taste testing a number of those items, if not all.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to come visit. I'm gonna be up, I think, when all that stuff.
Oh, that's right. You're coming up to see me.
Yeah.
In my new crib.
Yeah.
All right. So
should I?
We should. Well, you know what? Maybe
let's make sure there's a visit.
We'll figure that out.
Okay.
We're not too far from Craig.
I mean, great.
So
call it a date.
A date.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, PJ, we appreciate you being here. Thank you for all the kind words, not only about us, but the expo, your time here. Please spread the word. And I know you will. And until next time, we'll see you here at the Fresh CrEd.
Take care, PJ. Safe travels, brother.
Thank you, gentlemen.